Hello and welcome to round 5 of the Automobilista Australia Touring Car Championship. This week we are at the Cascavel circuit and we've got a fairly decent size grid. We've got currently 19 drivers in the server. Gary Neville's just joined right at the death and the qualifying session has just ticked over and we're about to get underway shortly. So you can hear in the background is Wayne Whitmore leaving the circuit. It is private qualifying for the touring cars here, and it once again is a shootout format. So every driver gets one lap, and they've got the track to themselves. And looking at the circuit, looks like there's plenty of rubber down, and there's even marbles. So we've either got maximum grip, or we've got a high level of rubber out there on the circuit. And we'll just follow Mr. Whitmore around. He was the second fastest in practice to Lime Mitch. Lime Mitch heading a 1 minute 8.067. And we've also got Ben Purse, who was fourth fastest in practice, as well as Termo, Brownie, Steve, Baker and Cracker also out there on the circuit, but we will stick with Whitmore for now. So he comes through the long sweeping turn 1, which has a bit of camber as well. It's called Bacau or Batsiao, I can't pronounce it correctly in Portuguese. 18.8 first sector, which is not the fastest. Termo currently fastest first sector of 18.5, so he started his lap obviously tremendously well. Turn 1, obviously very big. Obviously for that first sector, it's the only corner, and it's very tricky to get right. So Whitmore approaching the second split, 43.0. And he's got the fastest first sector. So the time he lost in the first sector is made up in the middle sector. So it's 0.3 faster than both Purse and Termo. And he's going through the final turn, which a lot of drivers use a lot of runoff on the exit, which Whitmore doesn't quite. And Whitmore crosses the line 18.4, so that's a very, very good lap from him. So that's a very good benchmark for a lot of the drivers. Termo an 18.5, and I believe that is, no, it's just off his personal best by about 1/1000th of a second, so he's pretty much matched his best, so he'll be happy with that effort. And I would say would follow James Owen around, but once again looks like he's got some connectivity issues. Yeah, so we'll just follow someone else around. We'll follow Cracker, who's up at the second split. So Cracker's had a, well, Cracker lap so far. So he had it on pole position last time out at Adelaide, but his first lap ruined his first race, as well as his teammates. Cracker crosses the line, lost 3, well, about 3/10 in that final sector, and that dropped him, see, not only behind Whitmore, but also Termo. Steve Bolger has just set a lap, as has Baker. So Owen has set fastest middle sector, 24.1, but as you can see, his internet connection to the server is a bit spotty, and we have no idea where he is. There he is. And we have, well, he's disappeared. Right, he's gone fastest, 18.3. So hopefully if his internet sorts itself out, otherwise that'll cause all kinds of issues. And I'd hate to see a few cars get wiped out because someone is blinking all over the shop. So who else is on a time limit? Luke Joyner out on a lap. He's about to finish, coming up to the final turn. right on board. Down to third for him. Nice and smooth. And he goes 8th on a 109.7. So Lime Mitch is out on track at the moment. He's just left the pits. Dwayne Davies also out there. He's just trying to look to see if there's anyone on a time lap at the moment. Doesn't look like it, so we'll just skip ahead and go to Mitch, who's just about to begin his lap. And we'll ride on board the guest driver. Oh, he's ran wide there, and that's his lap done. He's kept his foot in it. And then into the barrier. So he wasn't obviously happy that he ran off, and then he just put himself on the wall. So he's going to make himself start towards the back by keeping his foot in it like that. And he could have, even if he did obviously lose a second or so running wide and even clipping the barrier, as long as he tried to recover correctly, but obviously just wanted to wreck the car in frustration, and that's cost him. Not Morrill out there on the circuit at the moment. He's got Dwayne Davies a little bit ahead of him on the road, not that he'll see him because it's private qualifying. Morrill, oh, he's run wide there, it's cost himself time. And yeah, that's half a second. It's a very short circuit here, as you can tell. Obviously 1 minute 8 being the fastest lap time so far. Very short lap. So every little mistake is amplified. So Davies, he's going to cross the line and he's going to set a 109.1. Not a bad lap, but he would have been hoping for better. That is his personal best though. Morrill crosses the line. He lost a further 2 tenths in the final sector. So he goes 5th on 1090. And we've got Brendan Ross, who was fairly quick in practice. He set a 108.486. So he'll be hoping to replicate that. Because we've got Glenn Miles. He's the only one close to setting a time lap at the moment. With Brendan Ross, Matt Williams, Brenton Foley, Glenn Miles, as you can see on screen, and Gary Neville are the only drivers not to have set a time as yet. And Lime Mitch has gone out on track as we saw, but he'll be starting at the back unless someone gets disqualified or also exits their lap. So all the lap times in practice is Glenn Miles 4 tenths down in the first split. The fastest time to the slowest time of all 20 drivers that have set a time in practice or in practice sessions that have gone up on live races is 2.6 seconds, which isn't bad. Obviously it is a shorter lap, so there's going to be smaller gaps, but even still, that's fairly close together. And there's a second separating the top 10. Miles 9 tenths down in the middle sector. He's got 1 corner to go. And we'll cut to Brenton Foley once he crosses the start-finish line. Foley, 18.7 in the first split, which is a tenth off Owen and 2 tenths off the fastest first split, which was a 15.5 by Turmo. So Glenn Miles has a 1 minute 10.3, which is a good 6 tenths off his personal best, so he'll be a little annoyed with himself. So Brendan Ross out on circuit, 4 tenths down in the middle split. Obviously nobody sort of touching that 24.1 in the middle sector by James Owen at the moment. Not using all the runoff this time around, Ross. fairly smooth, and he sets a 108.7. So he's actually faster in the final sector by half a tenth. It's just that middle sector that cost him, and he sneaks in front of Cracker for P4. So we'll just skip ahead and right on board Brenton Foley. It's half a tenth off Owen in the first sector, but this is the crunch point here, the middle split. What can Foley do? Can he stay close enough to give him a chance going to the final sector? Goes down to second here. Nice and smooth, but still, it's lost 4 tenths almost. That middle split. I think it'd have to be under braking at turn 3 at S. The right-hander. As he comes into the final corner, down 2 gears into third. Just a bit more runoff. Hasn't been a bad lap. Wasn't a great one. He sneaks to 6th. And Matt Williams, he does a 109.5. He's not happy with his lap at all. And he will qualify 11th. And that is it. So time has expired. And we've got James Owen on pole position on a 108.371 with Turmo joining him on the front row with a 108.5. And then we've got Baker, Ross, Cracker, Foley, Murrell, and Bolger, followed by Davies and Purse in the top 10. So we'll just take a short break as I conduct the driver's briefing, but we shall be back shortly. Alright, so welcome back. We've got 3 minutes left in the warm-up session. So I suppose this is as good as time as any to bring up the championship standings. As you can see on your screen there, we've got James Owen currently leading on 134 points. Obviously a 52-point lead over Brenton Foley, who would have cut it down significantly after that second race had he not been wiped out by Johnny. But unfortunately, that's racing. He still had a magnificent win in the first race after avoiding Cracker's woes at the start, and then built a massive lead before in the second race, doing a fantastic job to claw his way through the field, through the wreck at the start, and was closing in on a podium place. We've not seen Reece Gardner for a while, which is a little bit disappointing, but he must have other commitments. And Baker, once again, very consistent throughout the majority of the championship, finds himself in P3. And Brendan Ross, who's had a couple shocking races, he'll be hoping to put together a few good races to possibly give himself a chance, an outside chance of claiming the title, but he'll need a few good races. Matt Williams, after missing Adelaide, is here this evening. This is one of his favourite circuits on the calendar. He enjoyed racing here last season, so he's decided to show up this evening, which is good to see. And then obviously Turmo, P7, had a strong round last time out, and he's on 63 points. Whitmore, he's shown flashes of speed, but just hasn't quite got. He's been a bit unlucky in the races, but we have seen in the rookies that he's very, very quick, and he's shown flashes of speed in the touring cars. So he'll be one to look out for. And Scott Murrell, obviously, is another one that missed Adelaide, but he's back. Obviously, he would have picked up, you would imagine, probably 20 or 30 points, which obviously would put him around where his teammate is. Either way, he finds himself in 9th position in the championship, and Corey Preston, we've not seen him since Velo Park, so he's on 51 points and just hanging in the top 10. And moving over to the team's championship, got Piston Broke Racing with Brendan Ross and Scott Murrell. They were comfortably in front, but with neither driver participating in Adelaide, the Cracker Racing team clawed their way back to 3 points behind, but had results, and a bit of luck on their way, especially in the first race. They probably would find themselves leading the team's championship, but either way, they've clawed back that point differential, and they're right there. PBF Race Engineering, well, those points will be added to the Farcanel Racing team, so they would be on 122 points. So, going just by doing some quick maths, so they're right there as well. And then we've got D2 Racing there on 82, and Turmo's team on 63 for Chevrolet Castrol Racing. So it's ticked over to the race session now. And now we just await. We'll see the grid to form up and the Camaro safety car to lead us away. See, we've not got too big, or I should say, we haven't got too big of speed differential between a lot of the cars at this round, and tyres are going to be something to look out for. See, lots of high-speed corners where you can lock up at, and you're not going to want to waste your tyres, obviously, early on, because you'll want to fight later on, as we saw last season, where we saw lots of battles up and down the field throughout both races. And we are away on the formation lap. With James Owen leading us away from first. Wayne Whitmore joining him on the front row. Termo P3, Baker P4, Brendan Ross P5, Cracker P6. Brenton Foley's got, he's got a little bit of damage on the front of his Corolla already, so he's banked into the back of someone. But he starts P7. Scott Murrell P8. Steve Bulger P9. Dwayne Davies P10. Ben Purse P11. Matt Williams 12th. Joyner 13th. Neville 14th. Coulston 15th. Brownie 16th. Miles 17th. Walsh 18th. And Lime Mitch at the back in 19th. So we've just got one sector to go. See drivers being told to maintain 100 kilometers per hour until the start finish line. Sorry about this, just got to adjust some settings. Alright, there we are, we're back. So we're just about to get underway here for race 1, round 5. And we're away. So you want to be probably on the inside of the long corner. We've already got Matt Williams having a look up the inside of, I believe it's Dwayne Davies out the back there. But Owen leads, followed by Whitmore, Termo, Ross. So Ross, Baker and Foley side by side into turn 2. This is, well, going through there side by side gives you a bit of hair on your chest. No incidents by the looks of it so far. Williams at the back there. It's a look. A couple cars, but hasn't got it done. But Owen's built up a little bit of a gap over Whitmore, and Termo, he's right behind Whitmore. But Owen leads. Termo's got a good run out of Sace, but Whitmore holds on for now. In fact, pulls away a little bit. Behind them, Ross has got Foley right behind him. As Ross gets the back end a little bit unsettled there through turn 1. Foley not quite close enough, is he? No, he's having a look as Whitmore he's run wide at turn 1 there, and that's led to Ross going defensive, and Foley says thank you very much, and then he goes around the outside. He's going to try and hold on around the outside of Whitmore. Coming into Cinco, Curva Cinco. Foley decides better of it, tucks back in behind Whitmore there. So very opportunistic there from Foley. He's up 3 spots from where he started. But he's probably going to need... Oh, there's a little bit of contact there, so it's a bit quicker there through Sace than Whitmore. And that's going to give Ross a good opportunity to get back past him. Obviously, Whitmore doesn't have weight while Foley is carrying 80 kilograms. Actually, no, sorry. I believe Ross is carrying a little bit. I believe he's carrying 60 kg. Anyway, solid start there for Foley. And fastest lap of the race, a 108.1 from Termo. So he's caught up 4 tenths on James Owen, who's set a 108.5. And, well, they're the only one in the 8s. Obviously, Whitmore made a mistake, and he sort of held up Ross and Foley behind. Going back through the field. So... Oh, Williams has gone around there, so he's lost the back end under braking. So we'll just have a look and see what happened there. Oh yeah, just lost it under braking. They're very easy to do under braking, and unfortunately that's moved him all the way to the back. And we've got Mike Coulston. Something's happened to him. Oh, he's into the barrier there, and he's stationary and now out. So there's the first retirement. a shame to see, and obviously Matt Williams, a bit frustrating for him. Obviously that spin dropping him all the way down to the back of the field. 18.2 for James Owen that lap, and an 108.2 and a 108.8 for Owen and Turmo. So Owen just stretching his legs a little bit, but obviously Turmo isn't carrying much weight. No, she's not carrying any weight, so that's something to look out for later on in the race, with Owen carrying at least 70 kilos on board. So if Turmo's smart, he'll just take it easy on the tyres and ease up onto the back of Owen later on. Behind him though, Whitmore and Foley continue the battle. So that weight sort of is hindering, I think, Foley just a little bit. And behind him, Baker is hounding the back of Brendan Ross with Ross's teammate Moore right there for company. Fastest lap, Wayne Whitmore, 108.1, and it was a 108.2 from Foley on that lap, but 108.2 for Owen in front of him, and a 108.2 as well for Turmo in front. Actually, no, James Owen got a track cut, so and it's in the final sector, so he's obviously taking a bit of liberties out of that final corner. A little bit of a lock up there for Whitmore. So it's the unweighted tyres. Baker has lost out to Murrell there, so going into turn 1, looking at the replay. And well, getting it done. Behind them, Davies and Bolger battling it out. Davies up 1, Bolger up 1, Baker down 3. Whitmore fastest in the middle sector, 24.0. That said though, Foley is there, 108.1 for Owen. And Whitmore lost a bit of time in that final sector, 108.4. 108.4 for Foley as well. Behind them, 108.6. for Brendan Ross. There's a bit of a queue starting to form up behind Rossi. Starting to form up the Rossi chain. And behind them we've got Cracker, Neville and Lion Mitch trying to fight his way through the field. It was the fastest in practice. So I know he's got a bit of pace in that thing, but he's up 7 spots from where he started, but obviously down in 12th. He's got a bit of front end damage on that thing as well, so he's hit the back of somebody. As we come into the final corner, or Curva Sate. Not quite sure how to pronounce it. 109.5 for Mitch. So running in traffic, sort of compromising him a little bit. He did look a little bit inconsistent in practice though. And now we've got Murrell has moved in front of Ross for P5. So Murrell is up 3 spots from his start, or Brendan Ross has dropped down a spot. So just into turn 1 here. A little bit of a wiggle there for Ross. Didn't want to make contact with each other, and looked like Ross just let him go there. And Whitmore starting to break away a little bit from Foley. Obviously Foley carrying the most weight in the field at the moment on 80 kilos, with Owen carrying 70. As well as I believe Dwayne Davies also carrying 70 kilos. Ross has got a good run out of the final turn. Doesn't look like he's going to make a move, but and he doesn't. And He's got Baker also right behind him, and Stoive is caught onto the back of this queue as well. This looks like Foley in front there, running a little bit wide, kicking up a bit of the red dirt. But at the front, a 1.4 second gap between Owen and Turmo, and then a further 1.7 between Turmo and Whitmore. And 2.6 between Whitmore and Foley. So Foley is just dropping off a little bit. So you did see him run wide at that very corner at Curva Sace on the last time out, last lap round. Turmo, fastest middle sector of the race this time around. Using it sideways there through the final turn. Let's see what he does over the start-finish line. Fastest lap of the race, which is then eclipsed by Whitmore by 0.2 of a second. 1:07.9. So the first driver into the sevens. Wayne Whitmore. Turmo a 1:08.1 and race leader 1:08.3 for James Owen. Behind them, Foley a 1:08.8. 1:08.7 for Foley. And Murrell. Oh, sorry, 1:08.8 for Foley, a 1:08.7 for Murrell, and a 1:09.4 for Ross, who's got quite a number of cars right behind him. And there's the front three. So the front three are slowly starting to converge together there. And there's first, second, and third. So you see there's Gary Neville running a little bit wide there in the background. And there's Foley, a little bit of a gap there to Murrell, a little bit of a gap to Ross, and then cigarette paper. Next few cars there. And then there's a few other gaps out there as well. So just line Mitch having a look at Neville into turn one. Not quite close enough to get it done. That said though, looked like Neville's going to run wide. He has run a little bit wide, but he's held on for now. Ooh, looked like Mitch had to just avoid Neville a little bit there. He's got a bad exit. It's going to give Mitch a chance, but he's going to have to go the long way around a fairly quick corner at Curva Cinco. For now, Aaron Neville holds on, goes defensive again, which I don't understand why. It's going to compromise him as he runs wide, and well, Mitch will take that position. So there's no need really for Neville to get defensive into that corner, because there's no way that Mitch is going to get it done, but obviously Neville got spooked, and that allows Mitch to get past. And further down the field, we've got Matt Williams / El Chief with Ryan Walsh there running wide in the background. See these two battling. Pretty fond of each other, these two. They've had a couple run-ins in the past. See Williams, he would have been hoping to be a bit further up the field, but obviously that spin early on costing him dearly. But the gap at the front is coming down. There's Turmo running very wide there. I think Owen's tyres are probably starting to go here. His lap times haven't been terrible, but Turmo's just been a little bit quicker and quicker. And the gap was got out to about 1.5 seconds, and now it's half a second, and then you can see Whitmore is not too far away as well. Behind them, Foley is still got a bit of a gap over Murrell, which is a bit of a surprise, but doing a good job there. And Ross in front of Baker, Bolger, Davies and Cracker, who's now starting to catch onto the back of that group as well. And it wouldn't surprise me if we saw Lime Mitch at some point catch up onto the back of that group. cut to the battle at the front. So right on board Turmo now, coming out of Curvaceous, and we'll see a visual representation of what zero weight does to, I believe, 70 kilos James Owen is carrying. And there you go, there's a little bit of it, as well as slipstream, of course. It's much quicker through that final turn there. Turmo's going to have a good sniff here, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. And yes, he decides smartly to back out of it, try and set himself up. His best bet, probably not into turn 2 or 3, but probably into Curva Cinco, which is the 5th corner on the circuit. So this is turn 2, this is turn 3, or S, and then this right hand kink that they're coming up to, which is flat out Curva da Agua. That's turn 4 and then turn 5. He's got a little bit of a toe there, but a little bit conservative under braking. Lost a little bit of time. Doesn't use all the road. Could have gone the power a little bit earlier as well, but he's still 3/10 of a second behind Owen and Whitmore now. He's less than a second behind Turmo, so these three close right up. So Turmo again, a bit conservative through that final corner. And it's dropped him time. And there's another lap where James Owen will hold on. So riding on board once again through Magulo, through S. Took a better line there, did Turmo, but he could have got on the throttle earlier, but didn't do it. That said though, he's closest he's ever been now to Cinco. He's very conservative though under braking, and he's now got he has to deal with Whitmore now, who's right behind him, as you can see. So being conservative is costing Turmo a bit here. He's going to have to be a little bit more aggressive under braking, and otherwise he'll find himself behind Whitmore and not have a chance to get past Owen. As Owen runs wide, he's too far in front of Turmo to really have a go, I'd imagine. Yeah, too far. That front right tyre of Owens will be absolutely screaming, one would imagine, with that extra weight. So he's got a fair challenge in front of him to obviously hold Turmo and Whitmore off. That said though, he can afford to play a bit conservative with obviously the massive lead he has in the championship. Once again, Turmo very close, but a little bit conservative again, but he's probably as close as he's been that we've seen to Owen so far, but he's always ran wide. That's going to give Whitmore a good chance into the final corner, but Turmo will have the slipstream as Whitmore pulled out, and Whitmore will take P2. That said though, Turmo got a fairly decent exit out of the final turn. Has got a slipstream, not quite close enough, and obviously turn 1, or back out, a bit too quick to attempt to move from that far back. Ooh, so Turmo losing back in a little bit. Got some smoke up ahead, so see a driver has run wide somewhere. Dwayne Davies has dropped down through the field. He's in 15th at the moment. So what's happened? He's in the pits. Dwayne Davies in the pits. We can see damage to the front right-hand side of that car. So we'll just have a look. So what has he done? Looks like coming out of turn 1. And yes, it is. Just pushing too hard on the grass. Once you get on the grass there, one-way ticket to the fence, and Fortunately for him, that's wrecked his race. As Owen continues to lead, Termo's dropped off the back of this group. So when we're looking at the replay, and Whitmore now having a look at Owen with 6.5 minutes plus the additional lap to go. Behind them, Ross now finds himself in P5, so he's got past Murrell, and this group has caught onto the back of Brenton Foley. So Foley and Owen both have jobs to do, holding off faster cars at the moment. So Foley running wide there. Don't know if that's due to tyres or just due to outbrake himself just a little bit, but six cars are right there on your screen. 4th to 9th. As we see Whitmore having a look in the final turn. A little bit of contact. And that's allowed Termo to close up, but Termo, it's too far back to capitalise, but Whitmore into the lead. That said though, Owen isn't giving this up. A little bit of a nudge there. But Owen just doesn't quite have obviously the top speed with that additional weight. So make anything of it at the moment, so he's going to have to rely on a mistake from Whitmore, or possibly even let Termo go and hope that see Termo and Whitmore battle it out and give him a chance. Behind them, Foley still holds on, and Brendan Ross has made a mistake and he's dropped down behind that group. So here's another one that's run wide in the middle of turn 1, and now he's at the back of that pack. So they're having a bit of they're doing what looks like Indian file at the moment behind Foley. And then back up at the front. So Termo looks faster than Owen at the moment, but he's just too conservative under braking in that he doesn't want to run into the back of Owen. Owen seems a lot faster through turn 1, but it's just the weight everywhere else just slowing him down. That said though, he's doing better than others around him that are carrying a similar amount of weight. He's got yellow flags out. We had yellow flags out. And we've had Rossi in the back, as you saw there. He's got past Stoive for P8. And at the moment, Whitmore holds on. Looks like they're coming up to lap traffic, so that is, I believe, 11 miles in the distance, about 8 seconds or so down the road. There's a cigarette paper now covering the top 3 here, with Owen and Termo using all the available road, and then some. It's given Owen a bit of a slingshot into turn 1. We have seen he is faster through turn 1, but the shallower line, not a line you really want to take. As you can see, he's much faster through turn 1 than Whitmore, but unfortunately, there's no real corner afterwards where he can take advantage of that. Instead, it just makes things a little bit more awkward. Oh, as we hear a smash there somewhere, so someone's off into the barrier. There's a bit of smoke. It's 10 miles off into the barrier. Thankfully, didn't cause any issues with the leaders. And behind them, we've got Murrell all over the back of Foley now. Foley is going defensive, not giving Murrell too much room, but then backs out of it, and Murrell will take that spot with yellow flags out, so it looks like miles into the barrier, and Murrell backing out of that one. And so both Murrell and Foley running wide, but Murrell's got the better exit, and he'll comfortably take P4 away from Brenton Foley. Said though, Foley not giving it up, trying to get him on the switchback. And it's going to be a bit of a drag down to turn 1. when Foley doesn't back out of it, and they're going to go side by side through turn 1, and Morrill just holds on, doesn't touch the grass, and Foley holds on to P4, so good racing between those two. In front of them, Owen's dropped a little bit off Whitmore, but still within a second as they come up to lap Brian Walsh. And once again, Morrill having a look at Foley. Just over a minute remaining. And Turmo having a look at Owen. So Owen's made a slight mistake coming out of Curva 6, and that will elevate Turmo now into P2. With, well, he's run wide there. He hasn't got weight, unlike Owen, but Owen's got the line into turn 1. So this will probably be the penultimate lap with, we'll see, less than a minute remaining. With these two battling, those two obviously making mistakes there at the final corner. That's given Whitmore a bit of breathing room now. Behind them, Foley holds on. And in fact, he's got a little... open up a little bit of a gap now to Morrill, and behind him Cracker is starting to close back in again as Ross has gotten past Baker and is now back up to P7. Did have a car running obviously on the grass, I heard there, so I don't know who that was. Possibly Brian Walsh. And Foley now holding on, albeit just for P4. And once again, Turmo and Owen side by side into the final corner. The next lap will be the last one. He's run a bit wide there, but I think he'll hold on into turn 1 now. I don't think Owen's quite close enough. And 1.7 seconds to Whitmore in front. He's probably not going to catch up, barring a mistake from Whitmore. Owen not letting him go, and behind him Cracker having a go at Foley, and see Morrill is now up into P4. So we'll just have a quick squeeze. So it looked like we'll see Morrill made the move into the final corner, and that sort of balked Foley just a little bit, and that brought Cracker into play. We'll see Morrill and this gang coming up to Brian Walsh. Cracker had a decent exit coming out of S, and going side by side. Oh, it looked like he's going to try and pass Morrill. It's got a bit of, I don't know if that's a bit of warping or what, but yeah, it looked like just a little bit of warping from Cracker there. And up front, Whitmore has got the final corner to deal with. So Whitmore will take race 1. Turmo holds on to P2. Owen will take P3. And coming into the final corner, Foley runs very wide. He might even get a penalty for that. It's that wide. But Morrill P4. Foley and Cracker separated by a couple tenths there. Don't know what was going on. A bit of lag. Brendan Ross will finish in P7. Baker P8. Steve will finish in P9. Eli Mitch got 10th there in the end. Gary Neville 11th. Ben Purse 12th. And Brownie about to cross the line in 13th place. And Matt Williams crosses the line 14th. Be a bit frustrated after that early spin. Luke Joyner will finish 15th. And the last of our finishes is Brian Walsh in 16th place. Well, so then, pretty action-packed race, that one. See, so the front three keeping it fairly tight for the majority of that race, with obviously I think Owen's tyres just going off a little bit there towards the mid-section of the race. And that allowed obviously Whitmore and Turmo, who was a little bit conservative, allowed obviously Whitmore and Turmo to get by. And then obviously Morrill, Cracker, Foley, Ross, Baker and Bolger all having a massive battle there towards the end, where Foley just couldn't hold on for another lap and a half to hold on to P4, and he dropped behind Morrill and Cracker in the end. Ross was up and down a little bit, so down a couple spots from where he started, but still claims P7. And Baker, again, nice and consistent, P8. Steve Bolger, fairly nice race for him in P9. And then Liam Mitch, he'll be sort of ruining that mistake he had in qualifying to round out the top 10. So then we'll just take a short break as go through and reset the grid, the reverse grid for the second race. So we shall be back in 5 or 10 minutes time. Alright, and welcome back. The warm-up session has just about concluded. The time has run out, so it will tick over shortly as looks like Steve Bolger tries to enter the back of the pit area there. Or launch his car into space, or at least one of the Toyotas anyway. A red and white car of some sort there, as you can see on your screen. But we're just about to get underway. Obviously probably about 2 minutes to a race start. Obviously the second race is reverse grid, of course, with drivers that obviously DNF'd are not eligible for the reverse grid, so they start out at the back. So I think we had 3 retirements, I believe, in the last race. Those being Mike Coulston, Dwayne Davies and Glenn Miles. It does look like the grid is formed up correctly. So now we're just waiting for the drivers to form up on the grid. Doesn't look like anybody has had any issues, which is good to see. So now we just await the race start. Obviously the start of the formation lap. Let's see. Alright, and we are away. Brian Walsh very late to get onto the grid, and might want to get a move on there. And Brian Walsh will start from, let's see, P1. And alongside him at the front is Luke Joyner. Starting from 3rd position, or the outside of row 2, is Matt Williams after a shocking start. Brownie will always get a couple of cars with Williams there and Ben Purse off, but Brownie will start 4th. Ben Purse will start P5. Gary Neville or Farcanel Racing will start in P6. Lime Mitch P7. He set the fastest time in practice, or in the warm-up session once again. Steve Bolger will start 7th. Baker will start P8. Brendan Ross 9th, followed by Brenton Foley and Cracker. And then Scott Morrill 12th. James Owen in 13th. Termo 14th, and a race 1 winner Wayne Whitmore in 15th. And the first of our DNFs being Glenn Miles will start 16th, Dwayne Davies 17th, and Mike Coulston will start 18th. So they'll be hoping to get through this one unscathed. So the safety car pulls in. Drivers have been reminded to stay at 100 kilometers per until the start-finish line. And away we go. So, we've got a couple wide there. Bolger having a look up the inside of Neville. Williams gives a little bit of a nudge to Joyner. It looks like Williams also got a bit of a nudge as well. Williams into the lead, and Neville sends Purse around, and there's another car off in the back there as well. Looks like Steve Bolger also around, I think. And Brendan Ross. So we'll just have a quick look and see what happened here. So riding on board Ross. So Bolger, and looks like Neville got into it, and then Ross nowhere to go with Bolger in the middle of the road there. So there's front left damage to Ross, and he's down the field. So that's a shocking start for him. But at the front, Joyner leads. At Williams 2nd, Brownie 3rd, followed by Gary Neville. Baker has had a good start. Foley, Morrill, Whitmore, and Termo. So those guys have moved up a few spots. And what has happened to Brian Walsh? And Brian Walsh has seemingly just disappeared. Do not know what has happened there. There's a little bit of contact, and there's Gary Neville off in the background there. And it is awkward when you run wide on the grass there, because it's awkward to get back on the track. And Brownie into the barrier on the exit, so he was pushing too hard there. And Matt Williams, I believe he had a similar run this time last season at this circuit, so he'll want to get in front of Luke Joyner. As once again, there's Brownie off, and that's a wheel gone this time. So Neville outbroke himself, and Brownie just pushed too hard, taking the shallower line and into the barrier, and then lost it under braking. Or did he get clipped? No, he just lost it under braking, and he's into the fence. He's got a barbecue on that thing, and Lime Mitch in the pit. So Lime Mitch has got some damage as well, and he's been there for a while. But Matt Williams into the lead. So coming out of S, he got that done, and he's now in the lead. And he'll be wanting to build up obviously a gap over Joyner and a gap over Baker. His teammate Brenton Foley up into 4th, Termo 5th, Morrill 6th, Whitmore 7th, Cracker 8th, Davies 9th, Coulson 10th, Neville 11th, Bolger 12th, Ross 13th, Purse 14th, Owen 15th. So he's had an absolute shocking start. He's actually lost a place somehow, so he's made a mistake somehow, somewhere. Ben Purse, I believe it was, he was one of the guys that had a spin at turn 1, so it must have meant that James Owens had a spin somewhere himself. Glenn Miles in 16th. Brownie's now decided to retire. Mitch is going, well, he's just leaving the pits, and looks like, yeah, Brian Walsh disappeared. And just getting news from the pit lane, Brian Walsh didn't. Well, he lost his setup, he's saying, and didn't put fuel in. That's why you always check it in the warm-up session, and obviously just before you get to the grid. He was very late onto the grid, but here we go. That's why he's out, and across the start-finish line, Matt Williams, it's a 109.8, which is bested by Baker and then Brenton Foley. But Williams now, he's got 1.1 seconds over Joyner, and he'll be hoping that obviously Joyner does him a solid, and obviously holds up Baker, because Baker is a little bit quicker, as we saw obviously in the first race. And then obviously behind him, Brenton Foley, not too far away. In fact, right on board with the reigning champion. Doesn't look like he's gaining too much time at the moment. A little bit quicker, a couple tenths through there, through Cinco and Sace. As Baker having a look up the inside of Joyner, and he should get that done into the final corner. But it will give Foley a chance to close up on both of them, and Foley will jump up and say thank you very much for that, and he'll take obviously P3, another fastest lap, and now he's right behind Baker. He's going for it, very aggressive, but he's given the space, as has Baker, and now it's a Far Canal 1-2. As Matt Williams wide, and lots of red dirt everywhere, but not into the barriers, so all good for the time being. But at about 1.5 seconds did Matt Williams, and that's all evaporated by running wide at turn 1 there. But just like last season, I believe these guys ran 1-2 at this very circuit. Matt Williams will be hoping, obviously, to avoid making any more mistakes throughout this race, and for his sake, probably bring home, he'll want a podium at least. But there's a long way to go, only just under 20 minutes now. He's got his teammate right behind him, and much, much quicker. And Foley, another fastest lap of one, is 10th fastest, so his consistency is right there. With numerous 109.2s and now a 109.1. That's just been bested by Cracker, 109.0. Cracker down in P6. So a bit of damage there on the right side of Termo's machine. So Foley now into the lead. Matt Williams right behind him. He's having a look up the inside into Curvacinco, but decides better of it. See, they'll be hoping for Farcanel Racing that result stays the same, but to get them back in good stead in the team championship. See, they've got Cracker Racing, you see, right behind them on the road and in front of them in the points standings. And Baker starting to home in on the back of the Farcanel machine, and Whitmore sets the first 108 of the race. He's down in 9th place. At the moment, Brenton Foley leads. Matt Williams second, Baker third, Joyner running wide there, but he's fourth, and he's got Turmo closing in on the back of him. And Turmo has got Cracker not too far behind either. Behind them, got Dwayne Davies, Murrell, and Whitmore all battling it out here for 7th place. Dwayne Davies up 10 spots, Murrell up 6, and Whitmore was given. Oh, he's given Davies a bit of a punt there. Serve. It's looks like he's lifted out of it, and Davies will hold on for now. Whitmore up 7 spots behind them. Bolger's dropped 2, but he's got. I was going to say he's going to get a decent run out of Sace, but not quite close enough this time around. And that is the battle for 7th. Turmo, fastest lap of the race. He's jumped up. He's just got past Joyner now. But he's run wide. He's going to give on the grass now, so that's probably going to cost him position to Cracker. Indeed, it will. So sits fastest lap of the race and goes too hot into turn 1. And that's dropped him now, a couple of seconds behind Cracker and Joyner. Behind them, Murrell continues to hold off Davies, and Davies probably not in the greatest position where he's got to look forward and back. Got to think of Murrell in front and Whitmore behind. A better line through there does Davies, but he's carrying, I think, about 10 more kilos than Murrell, while behind him Whitmore is not carrying any weight, which will probably change at the next round. Probably get 30 kilos or so. Looks like Dwayne Davies had a good run through the final turn, and I reckon, yeah, he's going to have a go into turn 1 here. Backs out of it. Or he's lost the back end there, and that's going to give Murrell a bit of breathing room as Bolger behind runs wide, and Bolger into the barrier. I've seen a number of drivers do that, and that's just how easy it is. If you run wide there, get the outside tyres on the grass when you still need a turn, you are in a world of trouble. As you can see there, it looks like Murrell might have been involved in a little bit of shenanigans off the start as well. He's got a little bit of damage to the front left of his machine. In front of them, so Foley's got a 1.5. Oh no, he's got about a second lead over his teammate, who's picked up his pace and started to find a bit of consistency now. 109.4 that time around, a 109.7 for Baker. Fastest lap again for Turmo, but obviously he's a bit further down the field now. So Baker and El Chief battling it out for P2. And now Turmo is caught up to the back of Cracker now. Behind them, Wayne Whitmore's got a bit of a gap, and seen something's happened, because it was right there. Ooh, a little bit of contact from Davies and on the exit. So just to have a look at that replay there. So looked like Davies, he got a much better run and tried to obviously get back onto the track. Gave Merle a little bit of a tap, which unsettled him, put him into the wall. I don't think he'll have too significant a damage, but it cost him a lot of time. And Davies, to avoid penalty there, lifting off and trying to obviously just redress the position, which is good to see. But unfortunately for him, that's dropped him down to 13th. And we'll see now Merle and Ross. Well, sorry, Merle down to 11th now. And they're now battling with James Owen. So James Owen now up into 10th. At least for the moment, as tries to go around the outside in a similar position to Davies' lap before, but Owen gives him a little bit more room. It looks like Ross trying to give him Merle a bit of a bump draft there into turn 1, but it's not going to help him this time out. So now Whitmore in a bit of space, but he's got 3 seconds to join her in front. In front of them. Well, Turmo's got in front of Cracker, and those guys have caught right up to the back of Matt Williams now. So Matt Williams on that last lap a 109.9, while Baker a 109.7, Turmo a 109.2, and Cracker a 109.8. Joyner off there in the background. He did a 109.8 as well. Whitmore, fastest middle sector so far this lap. He did a 108.9 on the last lap, so he's coming. But he's going to probably need, he's barring a mistake, he's probably out of contention for the race win, but he's still a good chance of picking up P2, and he sets a 108.7, so another fastest lap. And Baker now, he's instead of looking in front of him now, he's having to contend with Turmo behind, as Turmo has a look into Mergulo. And now S. Oh, and he's had to get out of it as Turmo, because he would have smashed it in the back of Baker. And that's left him vulnerable. And now Cracker now, he wants to get P4 back. And for now, he's holding on to it, but Turmo will have the line into Curva Cinco. Cracker, he holds on around the outside. And Turmo's going to have to do that all over again now. As Baker has got a decent exit out of Sace. Bit of a slipstream. Not going to be close enough to do it into the final turn here. As Williams unsettled the rear end a little bit. That's going to give Baker probably the position there into turn 1. So Baker now up to P2. Cracker right there. He wants a podium place as well. See these two teams battling it out for the team's championship. So Matt Williams isn't going to make it easy. But Turmo is throwing a little bit of a spanner in the works. He's probably the fastest of the lot, but his mistakes have cost him. Or his mistake has cost him. Otherwise he'd probably be the one in P2 right now. And with all this battling going on, Foley's got a 3-second gap with 10 minutes to go. Matt Williams has got a good exit there, and he's going to get a slipstream. As is Cracker and Turmo. Oh, a little bit wide there. This Matt Williams is going to compromise him a little bit. He's going to give Cracker a chance into turn 1. Williams has the slipstream, but he's not going to have the inside line. But we have seen drivers hold around the outside. A little bit of contact, but Williams holds on for now. Oh, as Turbo runs wide there on the grass, but he's got past Cracker, so I don't know how he's managed that. So we're right on board. So Cracker must have been a little bit conservative through the mid part of the corner. Turbo almost ran it onto the grass. Yeah, so he's going to run wide there, was Cracker. Lifted out of it, and then outside of the track limits, Turbo goes around. He really had no option. It was either lift or go on the grass, and well, he didn't smash into the wall somehow. But probably should have kept it within track limits and passed another day, but still, great attempt at an overtake. And And these guys, they've got Whitmore closing in behind them. On that last lap, Whitmore 109.5. And he was a good half a second to 7/10 faster than these guys in front. As Matt Williams once again still very close to Baker behind them. Murrell, Davies and Ross all battling for sheep stations. James Owen's dropped down a bit, so I don't know what's happened there. He's got a bit of damage as well, so just try and find out what happened here. Must have happened from a lap or two ago, but does have championship implications. Damage on the right side of his car, so I'm going to have to hazard a guess. It happened at turn 1 perhaps, or the final turn. No, it's too far back. We've missed it, so we'll just go to what is going out on track at the moment. And Murrell in 9th, his teammate behind him, but Murrell's ran wide, and he's probably going to lose out to Ross and Davies. No, maybe not. He's going to hold on for now. He's cost himself time, and he's going to cost both Ross and Davies time as well. So it's good news for Bolger and Whitmore in front. Oh, I doubt actually that would have caught Whitmore, but they've gone 3 wide. See, Murrell runs wide, Ross in the middle, and Davies on the inside, and Davies takes both the piston broke racing cars there into turn 1. So some good hard racing. Oh, we've got a wheel. Someone's out. Who is it? It looks like Matt Williams is out. What has happened here? What has happened here? So it looks like they've just all run wide there. Pushing too hard on all tyres. Oh, and there's a little lip in that wall there. It's a little lip, and he's just clipped it, and unfortunately that's Matt Williams' race done. So he's had a shocking weekend for him at one of his favourite tracks. And unfortunately that's cost Farcanel Racing quite a lot in the team championship, with obviously Baker and Cracker in 2nd and 3rd. That said though, Foley 4.5 seconds out in front. Ooh, as we've seen Whitmore, is that an incident there? Turn 1, had a bit of a spin. What has happened here? Just right on board with him. Race 1 winner. Oh, he's just got in a bit too hot, got on the marbles, and he looks like he's rear left there. Just clipping the grass, and around she goes. And now he finds himself behind Stuyve and Ben Purse. So Ben Purse up to P5. Behind them, Davies, Ross and Morrell continue to battle. James Owen's got past Gary Neville now, so he's back up to 11th, but that damage probably hindering him a little bit. Did not see what happened. Ross got a good exit out of the final turn. He will get Davies into turn 1. And it's probably going to give Morrell a decent chance as well. As Davies runs wide, loses the back end a little bit, puts his foot on the accelerator and holds it, but that has allowed Morrell through. So let's drop Davies 2 spots in 1 corner. But I doubt we'll see him give it up. There's a little bit of a luck up there for Morrell. As Morrell runs wide, and that's going to let Davies have a decent chance into Curva Cinco. Morrell goes defensive and then moves over, and Davies thinks better of it this time around. But Morrell is wide, and Davies, he gets that position back quite easily, and that's allowed Ross to build up a couple car length gap now. In fact, it's over a second, so with Davies and Morrell costing himself a little bit there. In front of these guys, we've got Whitmore now. He's got past, Ben Purse was in front of both Bolger and Whitmore, but now it looks like Whitmore, to come back to it, is just about to get past Bolger. They're going to go side by side. We have seen cars hold it around the outside at turn 1, and Bolger is trying to do just that. He will have the inside for S, but he backs out of it. But Whitmore locks up. Oh, there's a little bit of contact between Purse and Bolger there. But Whitmore now up into 5th. Bolger down to 6th and Ben Purse 7th. And Davies and Ross continue to battle it out. In front of these guys, we've got Baker and Turmo battling it out. Obviously, both Farcanel, or all the Farcanel team, will be hoping that Turmo does get past Baker, and probably Crack as well, just to help their points situation. So now, there it is. So Turmo up into P3 there. A nice easy move into turn 1 over Baker. And he does have the pace, so he will have a good chance at Cracker. That said though, certainly 2.5 minutes plus the extra lap remaining. Once again, got Ross and Davies battling it out. Solid exit there from Davies. Ross goes defensive. So Davies sticks to the outside, down to 2nd gear. It's a bit of an awkward one with these cars. You can take it in 2nd or 3rd. And it looks like Ross got a better exit there, and he's just edging away from Davies. Obviously, Davies does carry weight, as does Ross and Murrell, but Davies carrying just a tick more. Decent run through the final turn there for Davies. It's not quite close enough. Looks like Ross just did enough this time around to hold on into turn 1. Murrell very wide there. The shoddy middle corner there from Ross, but Davies can't do anything about it through Muragulo or S. So he's going to have to wait until Curva Cinco to do anything about it. But Murrell's had a good run through there as well, and he's now right behind him as well. So while these guys battle it out, just see how Davies exit this, but looks like Cracker and Turmo having a continuing in their battle. Yeah, there we are. Side by side into turn 1. This will be the penultimate lap with just under 20 seconds remaining, and it looks like Cracker's run wide there onto the grass. He's not going to get back on in time. That will drop him down to 4th, I would imagine. And there it is. So Baker now up to P3. Cracker down 2 spots to P4. And Turmo, he's got 3.5 seconds to close down in a lap and a half if he wants to have a chance at Brenton Foley. So that's a bit unlikely, but this is sim racing and anything can happen. Well, it usually does. It's Davies continues to hound the back of Brendan Ross. And it's a decent exit from Murrell, and he's going to have a look. It's got a little bit of an overlap now, so Davies can't move over. But it's a pretty quick corner, Cinco. Not much of a braking point. Davies leaves room. And Murrell now up into P9. So Davies couldn't quite get it done, and in the end it's cost him. Murrell up to 9th. Davies down to 10th. And they've got a bit of a gap to Owen behind, and then going through the field, got Coulston there in 13th. Matt Williams out, Joyner out, Miles out, Mitch out, as is Brownie and Brian Walsh. And they're on their final lap, the leaders. Brenton Foley just under 3-second lead over Turmo. Turmo's got a bit of a gap over Baker now. With 2 corners to go for Baker to hold on, as Cracker runs a little bit wide there. That said, though, he's had a good exit, has Cracker, and that'll give him a shot into the final turn. But he's not going to be close enough. So, but Brenton Foley rounds Curvasete for the final time in race 2, and he will take race 2 here. Once again, he picked his way through the field without any damage, and he will claim another victory in the second race. Turmo made it pretty difficult for himself, and if he didn't have that spin early on, he could have contended for the race win, one has to say. Still, he finishes P2. Baker, nice and clean, avoided the mistake at the end. Unlike his teammate, he'll finish P3, while Cracker be ruining that, obviously running wide there at turn 1. That dropped him down to 4th. Whitmore, again, he had a chance at a podium, but that mistake at turn 1 cost him. He finishes P5. Steve Bolger is a UFO, and he finishes P6. Ben Purse, P7. Brendan Ross, P8. Obviously, he's got a bit of damage on his car, so it'll be interesting to see what happened to him at the start. Scott Murrell, P9. See, those guys had a fantastic battle with Dwayne Davies for P10. James Owen had a bit of a shocking round, or second race there. Obviously, didn't have the greatest of first laps, and then obviously had a bit of damage there as well. He finishes P11. Gary Neville finished 12th. Mike Coulston 13th for Flat Spot Racing. And then obviously Matt Williams, Luke Joyner, Glenn Miles, Lai Mitch and Brownie all failing, as well as Brian Marshall failing to finish. So then there's 2 fairly action-packed races. Had interesting battles for the lead throughout. Obviously early on in this race, obviously Foley had to get his way through the field and get past his teammate. Built up a little bit of a gap and then held on, obviously, to the lead towards the end of that race. Turmo, obviously, he got his way through the field, obviously, quickly enough, but a couple of mistakes cost him a shot at a victory, but he did have the pace, so he'll be hoping, obviously, next time out to put it all together. Baker and Cracker, they had a fairly solid run between the two of them, with obviously Baker making that one less mistake to get on the podium in that second race. Alright, so we'll just have a look and see who we have in TV time. Okay, we don't have 50 million people this time, which is good to see. Alright, so I think we'll just cut to our race, I believe it was race 1 winner, Whitmore. Obviously, Wayne had some pretty decent pace around here. In that first race, obviously, you had a solid battle with obviously Owen and Turmo and the like, but it looked like, obviously, towards the end of that race, Owen's tyres started to fall away, and obviously, with you running less weight, you just had the tyres to run over the top of him at the end.
Yeah, I just had to take advantage of down the straight where I had the bit extra speed and his tyres wearing up, just leave it to late, and I just got him on the last turn. It was great racing with Turmo and him. Great race.
Yeah, you three weren't separated by much throughout that first race, so it would have been a little bit nerve-wracking, obviously, for the entire 25 minutes, just to be battling at that kind of intensity throughout.
Yeah, it certainly was, and a couple of love taps just to let me know he's still on my tail on the way past.
Certainly. Obviously, the first race went fairly well, as good as it can for you, and the second race not quite as well. Obviously, you got your way through the field fairly well enough, but obviously midway through that race, you had that little off at turn 1, and that sort of ruined your charge towards a possible shot at a podium.
Yeah, made the fatal mistake, touched right hand tyre just too far out and paid the penalty.
Still, it's a pretty solid round for you, a win, and I think a 6th or a 7th there in the second race as well, so well done.
Thank you, yeah, great night's racing.
Alright, so I think we'll cut to our race 2 winner. We'll see Brenton Foley. The first race probably weren't too happy with it. Still, you managed a solid result. You had a obviously massive battle throughout that first race, but again, just with a lap or two to go, just couldn't quite hold on, and you dropped a couple spots there in that first race.
Yeah, as always, I set the car up with for the weight, but when doing it, especially at this track, later in the race, I was losing a lot of tyres, so I was very weak towards the end and had people all over me towards the end, and yeah, I think it was Cracker that passed me as well, and I couldn't see him because I don't know if it was me lagging or him lagging, but yeah, so I didn't really want to push back too hard because I didn't know where he was, but good race either way.
Yeah, and then obviously in that second race, obviously you become, obviously it sort of happened last season as well, where in the second race you'd find yourself in the reverse grid a little bit further down the field, but you'd avoid all the carnage, you'd pass people cleanly and efficiently and quickly, and obviously early on you found yourself obviously battling for the podium, and then you found yourself obviously behind your teammate and then into the lead obviously fairly early on there.
Yeah, I found that with my setup, even though it destroyed tyres towards the end, the first 3 to 4 laps, I could put it up the inside, put it anywhere, turn one, the last corner, hold it on the outside. Like, it was just brilliant. So I managed to pick a lot of people off towards the start of the race. And I don't know who it was that kind of span around at the start, but I managed to very closely follow the rear of their car, get past without any issues, and charge forward.
Yeah, and then obviously you got into the lead. Obviously your teammate did a solid job. Obviously he was trying his best obviously to get a podium, but obviously he did a good job obviously holding up Cracker and Baker and the like behind, and that enabled you to build up a bit of a gap. And then obviously when Turmo did get into P2, you had obviously enough of a gap there just to hold on in the end.
Yeah, I knew I had the pace to match Cracker and Baker towards the middle of the race. I'm not sure towards the end. But Turmo was definitely who I was keeping my eye on, and as always, Gruff did a wicked job defending as he does, and he held his position and almost got a podium for quite a while.
Certainly did. Obviously, a bit unlucky running obviously wide at turn one there, and obviously wiping the right-hand side of his car off. So he'll be a bit annoyed with that, but obviously still, with James Owen having a bit of a shocker in the second race there, that sort of enabled you to close the championship points up just a little bit.
It's always good.
All right, so once again, obviously, congratulations on the Race 2 victory.
Thank you.
All right, now just trying to decide who should we take for the final interview. Don't have James Owen in here to ask what happened to him. I think we'll just we'll cut to obviously Cracker. I think we'll see 2 solid races from you, Cracker. Things didn't go as badly as what they did in Adelaide, where you were looking very good before obviously disaster struck in both races, but this time out obviously 2 solid results, and obviously you'll be kicking yourself in the second race there where you had third there, but you just ran a little bit wide at turn 1 with a couple laps to go and allowed your teammate through.
Yeah, I just outsmarted myself a bit actually. I thought I'd let Turmo take that inside and I'd try and go a bit wide and a bit slower and try and switch back on him, but I couldn't get back. I think the tyres were too far gone at that point, but yeah, then Baker got through, which is good. The teammate got through at least, so we left it at that, I think.
Yep. Obviously, very solid results from obviously both your drivers this time out. With that result, I do believe you might even jump in front of Piston Broke Racing in the team championship. So a fairly solid result for you boys this evening.
Oh, that's a good thing. If we can't get a podium, at least the team gets the points and gets up there, so that's good.
Certainly. All right. Well, in fact, we'll go to one more interview, actually. We'll cut to Scott Morrill. Obviously, you had a fantastic battle in that second race with obviously your teammate and Dwayne Davies. You didn't get as much TV time as what I would have liked, but unfortunately, fortunately, there was other battles going on which obviously took time out away from that. But you guys look like you were battling for sheep stations there for P8 really.
Yeah, no, it was a whole bunch of fun, but unfortunately, Rossi got tangled up in the start of the race there and copped some damage, and I copped some a little bit later on. So we were nursing the cars a little bit, and then D2 came along and got us moving a little bit, and yeah, we were having an absolute blast. I'm pretty sure D2 as well.
Oh yeah, obviously it was almost like Indian file where one of you guys would sort of lead the the front of that little pack, and then obviously they'd get overtaken, and then the guy in front would then drop behind the two, and it would just rinse and repeat until the end there.
Yeah, I'd actually give extra points to D2 for the 3-wide pass down the main straight where he got both myself and Rossi.
Yeah, it was. I do believe we do have that on the stream. I do believe I did see that. So we'll see some great racing between you guys, and hopefully you guys can continue that battling next time out.
Yeah, hope so. Look forward to it. Thanks, guys.
All right, so that will do it for the interviews. Just to obviously bring up what is coming up in the future at Automobilista Australia. Obviously, next week we have the Rookie Cup. Just trying to find out, trying to remember which circuit that is. That is at VIR, so Virginia International Raceway at the South Course. So that is the smaller course. So it's a small little circuit for those cars. So it probably won't be too much overtaking, but it'll be a little bit of a tricky challenge for the rookie drivers. So that is next Monday. In 2 weeks' time, in the obviously Touring Car Championship, I do believe we have Guapore. Yes, we do in 2 weeks. Well, no, sorry, we have Alton Park at the Ireland Circuit. So that's the one the British Touring Car drivers race at. And obviously we do have a couple events coming up with the Bathurst 3 hour. So that the files for that are on Discord for those that are wondering. There's also obviously links to Discord on Facebook as well. It is obviously utilizing EEC GT3, and we've also added, or we've had put out a BOP patch, so that will make some cars like the McLaren and the BMW as well as the Camaro, that'll give them a bit of help. We also have a couple series that are open as well. Obviously, it was the World Endurance Championship. It still is open as the World Endurance Championship with LMP2 cars available, but should drivers not sign up, or more drivers sign up to the LMP2 class, it will be reclassified as just a GT3 series around the same circuits. Obviously, there's a registration page and document for people to edit should they want to edit that and choose their car on Facebook. It is a 9-race championship, so please, if you're interested, obviously that race is on Sunday nights, obviously sign up. And also on the alternating Sunday nights is the Formula 1 2019 Championship, where we will be using the Formula Ultimate cars. Physics are still yet to be decided. Obviously, there is 2018 livery pack for all the cars, as well as if obviously you want to run your own custom livery, that is also an option. So if you are interested in that obviously runs on Sunday nights on alternating weeks to the obviously GD3/WEC series. So if you're interested in that, please sign up. So obviously from me, Lewis, at Automobilista Australia, we hope to obviously see you obviously out there on the racetrack, and hope to see you next week. Cheers.